Dear Perceptive readers, this is James Lynch. I want to share a true story with you. And this is something you can verify, okay? This actually happened some thousands of years ago. And there was a man that he had, way back in those days, a man could, he could have a wife and he could also have concubines. Now, this is not something that God set up. This is just something that, men did on their own. And yet, the community, the culture, you see, accepted it. And the main reason it was accepted is because by them still being an early group of people, an early nation, if you will, looked at as being a small group of people, small nation still. They actually really wanted to produce their offspring, you see. And in this case, now, this is something that I haven't did research on because I don't really think it was necessary. But because of the way the families and the tribes were set up, it wasn't going to be like there was still some type of competition, you see, even among the tribes, because they actually did still have, you see, their genealogy, uh, uh, their people marrying, etc. And I want you to still know that they were still closer to perfection even back then, than what we are today. But all the same, it was still enough people where, no, I don't believe it was, inbreeding or anything of that nature, rampant, so to speak, because, that just wouldn't have been good either. Because God still watched over what they were doing, between their wives and their concubines and producing children. And see, that was one of the main reasons why they did that. That's why one of the reasons why the man may have had one main wife, the first wife, and may have actually had one or two or more. It actually depended on his wealth and what he wanted, concubines. Now, with that being said, though, there was this one man of a tribe, and his wife, concubine, or what have you. I haven't read this account in years, but I'm recalling it. She basically cheated on him and ran away with another man, or ran away. And so this man, this husband or husbandly owner or what have you, because he was very upset with her when he found out. And so that's one of the reasons why she ran away as well. And so after his anger had cooled down, he wanted her back. You see, he still wanted her. He still wanted her at his home. You see, wanted her in his place. Now, he went searching for, you see, and she was over there in another tribe, you see. And when she was there, he talked her into coming back home or what have you, and she was, going to come back home. But on the way back home, there was these very bad, evil, good-for-nothing men that actually wanted to do some pretty messed up stuff to these visitors in this area, this locality. Okay, I mean, some real bad stuff they wanted to do to them. And so because of the situation of how this mess got started in the first place, in a sense, the man who was keeping them guests in his home, he didn't want to give them up because of the simple fact they said this would be bad. Look, they are undermined shelter and protection, even though at the same time these very, very bad group of men were still basically saying, if you don't hand over that man or what have you, then, we're going to still do as worse to you as well. Mm-hmm. That's how evil and wicked they were. Guess what? All in the realm of what's supposed to be God's land. Isn't that interesting? Knowing who God is. Knowing the personal name of God. Yet, what happened is they just went on ahead and threw the woman who had committed this adultery out to them. Okay? Out to these mean and hateful, wicked, evil men. And they had abused the woman so much, guess what? She died. She died from all that evil abuse. Now, this was so bad that the man did something to get their attention, and I'm not going to tell you what he did. You can do it in his research. But when this message went out to all the other tribes of this great evil, this great wickedness that was done, it was a civil war, so to speak, all the tribes against one. And it's interesting because still that one tribe was probably known to be one of the strongest tribes anyway. You see what I'm saying? I mean, very skilled at what they did with their bows, their arrows, their slings. They were skilled. So imagine taking all those other tribes, you see, about 10 of them, 9 or 10 of them, to go up against this tribe. And man, it was a lot lost. It was a lot lost. Yeah, all the same, there is something that is still learned from this account. And rather than go into it, because it will make this, Telegram, which will be moved to my Buy Me a Coffee exclusive group section, which I got about 8 or 9 I still need to upload or what have you. And I'm going to do that. This is just something that you can do your research and find out, when did this happen? Where did it happen? Why did it happen? What do we learn from it? Take care of yourself, perceptive readers. Bye-bye.